Hey, deserved listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch.
Time now, how do you call nobody doesn't cover for me, like, you know?
Yeah, but that sounds like bull to me.
I wish if I stay with him like today, just I forgot, I didn't tell for everybody. It's my fault, but I can't do nothing because I can't cover the job.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening, but he agreed to her that he wasn't going to work tonight. Her parents are arriving, and understandably, she said, I don't want you to work that night because that's the first night that they're here. And he is springing it on her now that, oh, by the way, I do have to go to work tonight because I don't have anyone who can cover for me. And then in an interview, he's saying, it's my fault. I forgot to ask for the night off. Okay, so either he forgot, which is an understandable mistake, or he didn't care enough to deal with it, which is a possibility. It's certainly, that's the way it seems to Ariela. Or he subconsciously sabotaged himself because that's what he does in life. We're starting to see maybe some signs of self-sabotage. Or he was terrified about meeting the parents, the father, and he was worried about judgment, and so he subconsciously or consciously had an escape route of working. Or he doesn't really love Ariela, or he's cheating and he has loyalties other places. I don't know, maybe we'll figure out which one it is.
Want to start fight with me?
No, I don't want to fight with you. I'm trying to be calm before they come. I want you to explain everything and make me feel better.
You don't understand me because we have bad conversation.
Oh, I understand you're leaving.
Listen, I will leaving after your family when you go to sleep. Your family is so tired.
But what about me? You're leaving me alone.
Okay, so he's saying, look, if you let me finish what I was going to say, I was going to leave after your parents are going to go to bed, so I'm not going to miss out on anything about your parents. And then I would imagine what she would say, oh, okay, well, you know, that's fine. Instead, she says, well, what about me? You're going to leave me. Huh? Like, he goes to work, right? Is that a thing? Like, you don't want him to leave the house ever? Because he works, you know, and now maybe she'll explain what she means by that. I think what's happening is emotionally she just doesn't want him to leave. Emotionally she doesn't like when he works at night. Emotionally she thinks he's cheating. And so emotionally she just doesn't want him to leave tonight. But she doesn't necessarily have a logical reason if he's going to leave after the parents go to bed. So she just is throwing stuff out there, which points to a problem in this relationship, that they either don't understand what's happening on the inside, and they definitely don't understand what's happening with the other person, and it's causing misunderstanding, and it looks almost like contempt is starting to build between the two of them, which is troubling.
This is not okay.
She will say things like that. She'll say, this is not okay, as if she has authority over him or something. Now, she can ask for things, for sure, and he doesn't have the right to do whatever he wants, for sure. But the way that she talks, it's like, I am the mother of this situation, and you are my son. I remember in the very early part of their story, learning the detail that he was the baby in the family. They literally call him baby. She literally calls him baby. It's confusing sometimes because she calls the baby baby and she calls Biniyam baby. And I'm which baby are we talking about? But anyway, and that's fine. People have their languages, their nicknames. Anyway, point is that I was wondering if we were going to start to see a mother-son dynamic, given that he is the youngest in the family and was taken care of by his older siblings quite a bit. I was wondering if we were going to see irresponsibility, perhaps lack of, and maybe, you know, this is what is playing into it, a lack, you know, when you're treated like a child and you're treated dependently, then you might retain some dependence and some childish personality traits into adulthood. Now, he has like 5 different jobs and he seems to be doing well with that. So he doesn't suffer from what we might see in Ji-hoon, who seems to have dependency and childishness driven by schemas of I'm incompetent. So I don't think he has a schema of incompetence, but which is the main driver of dependent personality. But it's possible that he has a schema of I am not responsible for other people, because I had older siblings that took care of me. I never took care of anyone else. And maybe he doesn't take on her feelings as his job to take care of as much as what would be helpful and or as much as she would like.
Really pissed off right now. I was not expecting my parents' visit to start off like this. I mean, my parents came here to meet him and to meet our new family, and now he's just gonna leave. I'm so disappointed right now. It looks...
So maybe I'm missing something, but what I'm hearing is that the parents are gonna land. He and they and the parents are gonna have some fun, have some interacting, have some socializing. The parents are going to go to bed, and then late at night, he's going to go to work, like he's working the night shift or something. But according to her, it's this huge devastation. Now, maybe she knows something like, look, he's going to leave while the parents are awake. He's just inventing that in his head. Because if he leaves after the parents go to bed, then I don't see what the problem is. He has to work. It's not like he can take the time off, I think. So working while they're asleep might actually be one of the best things that they can do. Maybe she feels like it just feels disrespectful to work while they just landed or something like that. But her attitude is, I don't know, it's provoked by worry and hurt, but I don't think it's going to help.
Yeah, I have work today. I love to stay with you guys, like.
So what do you have to do tonight?
Like singing.
He has an issue with planning.
So maybe he doesn't know ahead of time when he's going to have his next
Mom,
flirt.
you're making excuses for him.
No, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay, so he said that he would go to work after they went to bed, which I thought, I mean, it's not a big deal. If parents go to bed, he goes to work. They don't even see him go. But they just arrived, and he's going to work. So either he was lying to Ariela earlier, saying that, no, it'll be fine. I have to go to bed, which is concerning, or he didn't know or something. But yeah, what's going on there? Was it a passive aggression to get out of being around his parents because he's worried? Is it just lack of consideration? I don't know. He seems like a considerate person. Is it irresponsibility? But he's going to work, so I don't know. Is it a gig that came up performance-wise that he just can't give up on, and he's been waiting for a long time? Maybe it's a big opportunity. I don't know. And I don't think Ariela knows. So I think this is another manifestation of him not being forthcoming about what is going on in his heart, and that absence of information is hurtful to her and also creates opportunity for her to make stuff up in her head, and it's usually negative.
No, I know before, but I forgot to tell her, like, today is happening. Just
Busted.
Yeah, I know.
You knew and you didn't tell her.
Yes.
Okay, so we've heard a number of different things from him. We heard that he told her that he had the night off. Then tonight he says, oh, by the way, I have to work. And then he said, I forgot to get the night off by asking for the night off. And then he said that he would be able to leave work after the parents went to bed. And then now we're hearing that he's known about this, scheduling conflict for a long time and just didn't tell her, forgot to tell her. So what's going on here? Is he prone to shiftiness and lying as a way of trying to actually hide something, or as a way, is this part of their dynamic where she is scrutinizing and mothering him and watching him and scrutinizing him, and he is in this state of trying to evade all the time, which creates this habit of lying or anxiety, and then lying out of anxiety and then trying to make up for those lies later. This is worrisome.
Angry. It's hard that we don't have a lot of time with my parents, because it's be really disrespectful if tomorrow you sleep all day.
Yeah.
I support baby in all his creative endeavors, but his job is not what I expected. Now you're gonna leave me with the crying baby.
Yeah. Bye.
Well, now it does look like he is going to work after the parents go to bed. So he was right this whole time, because the parents did just go to bed, and now he is going to work. So, okay. But we're hearing more of that tone from Ariela saying, you better do this, you better do that, instead of, I would really love it if, or it would be great if, or you would make me so happy if. That's the way partners talk to each other of equal power. The way a mom talks to a son is, you will do this, you are disappointing me, this is the expectation, that kind of thing. And it's a tone thing, and it's a dynamic thing. And that kind of tone tends to erode one's goodwill if you're in his position, and will promote behaviors that will involve shiftiness, that will trigger her mothering, and so on and so on.
Never expected to be waiting at home for someone who's out late, entertaining and flirting with people as a means of making money.
I'm sorry, I have to, before I will tell you, but...
So often on this show, it is, we don't know the steps along the way, but when she met him, he was a performer and a dancer and a DJ, and now is surprised that that's how he makes his living. Presumably, that's how he likes to make a living, and it's also maybe how he can make the most living. So I'm always wondering what happened. Did he give the impression like he was going to quit or something? Because, it's not like he suddenly just became this profession. The other thing that she said is he makes a living flirting with women. So two things could be possible. One is that's literally true. And if it is, yikes for her. And that would obviously trigger someone and cause a lot of problems. Or is that just how she narrativizes it when he would say, no, I don't make a living flirting with women. I'm a dancer, I'm a DJ, I'm a singer, and I'm a performer. And yeah, some women but some men, people, that's the audience. Some are men, some are women, and they cheer for me and they talk to me afterwards. And sure, maybe some of them are interested in me romantically. It'd sort of be like if you're Taylor Swift's partner. Does Taylor Swift have a partner? And you're like, oh, great, you're just going to go up on stage and you're making a living from flirting with people because there's all these fans, some of them romantically and sexually attracted to you in the audience, and they might even come up to you after the show and, can I get your autograph? Can I get a selfie? And the partner is like, there you go, making a living, flirting with people. And you would say, well, that's what it's like to be a performer. That's what it's like to be someone on stage. Some people are going to have that in their mind. They don't think I'm going to get together with them, I don't think, because that's absurd. And they know I'm married or something. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe she has an accurate bead on the situation and maybe not.
Okay, I'm not. I love you.
I'm so angry right now. My parents just flew 24 hours to meet him and to meet our new family, and now he's just gonna leave? I'm embarrassed. I think it makes him look like a jerk.
Bye.
Yeah, so I get it. I get the underlying feelings, but we aren't hearing those. We're not hearing, I am worried or I feel hurt. It's, I am so angry, and you hear it, this rage. And that usually is fueled by hurt that you're not processing well. And two, entitlement. So you have a lot of hurt that you don't have any way of funneling or getting care of or soothing even of yourself. And you just channel all that pain into anger. And then you also feel entitled, as if you have the right to rage on another person, even if it's just in your mind. And so that's concerning, that there's no mitigation there. There's no well, my parents are in bed and, he works and I want him to be happy and, things are fine. It's not the end of the world. Or, it's kind of disappointing. I'm hurt, but, I can survive on my own. But I would have liked it if you, some kind of middle ground there, some kind of flexibility, but it doesn't seem like that exists, which gives me a lot of worry for the future of their relationship. Still
pretty frustrated with him. I want to have a good day with my parents. I don't want to fight.
Yeah, I don't want to fight today. I did a mistake.
All Vinny and I do these days is fight, and I really want to get past this.
All right, so I'm worried even further. According to Ariela, she's saying that all we do lately is fight. That's concerning. that is going to take a toll. So hopefully they can go to a therapist and turn it around.
I'm from and the way that I've lived my life, he will never understand. I mean, this is one of the most different cultures that I've ever experienced from American culture.
You have to communicate, number one.
Yeah.
If people know where you're coming from, they can handle a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the father is speaking the truth here. I think that getting to the heart of the matter more so than Ariela was, which is, it's not about just communication. It's about if they know where you're coming from, then they're much more likely to be okay with things. So it's not just, people say, I need communication, which sometimes they're literally like Ariela. It's like, I need to know what you're doing, when you're doing it. Instead of actually what would make Ariela feel more secure is if she just kind of knows what's in your heart and feels secure in that, then she can know that when you do things, you're going to keep her interests in mind. And when things don't seem like they're great for her, she'll say, well, I know that he loves me. That's an important element of a relationship is, do I believe in my partner's heart that they love me, that they have my interests in mind, that they care about me, that when they're faced with a decision, they consider me. That's very important. And I think that he does, but I don't know how well he is at communicating that. And the dad is, I think, saying that.
I have to work at it, you have to work at it, but you're more open of letting Ari know what's going on. She can handle anything.
And support you in all this stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
They're going to
Yeah, and good point from not only would Ariela be okay, but she would support. And then he says, yeah, I understand. So we've seen that before where when Ariela and the father now are trying to communicate to him about what would help, he says, yes, he said, I love you. I understand. Everything's fine. Everything will be okay. Yeah, I totally, but I don't think he gets it. Maybe it's a language barrier, a cultural difference, probably. And then when that doesn't work out, Ariela gets rageful and entitled and mildly abusive and controlling. And, they're never seeing eye to eye. So he said, yeah, I understand. Yes, I understand. But I don't think that he does. So I would spend more time, if I was Ariela, I would spend more time being like, I really don't think you understand. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but this is really critical. This is something that I want. So let's talk about how this works exactly emotionally. Because I think if he did get it, he would do it.
Enough space for all of you.
the guest house that they have is small. It's very small. Now they're a family of three. The space will be even smaller.
It just doesn't fit the requirements that we expect for our daughter and our grandson.
So maybe I'm missing something, but they're in another country where the economy isn't like it is in the States, where the standard of living is much lower, where the expectations are lower, and they will make adjustments. Like, I didn't show this scene, but they were moving Avi on the stroller, and the ground is bumpy because the roads aren't very paved, and so they're struggling with the stroller. And this is why the vast majority of people around the planet don't use strollers. They will use, what do you call them? Satchels? What is it? Slings. And so, because it doesn't matter if the ground is even or not. Plus, it's a lot less bulky, and you're close to your child, and you notice your child, and it's, just easier that way. And now I'm not saying you're not supposed to use a stroller, but I'm just saying that this American mentality of, I need to have my daughter who now lives in Ethiopia, I need her life to be exactly the way it would have been in the States, when it's like, you're in another country, there are other ways to raise a happy, healthy child. And his career is such that I don't know if they can afford what they want. So now, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he does have some career opportunity. Maybe he does earn a lot more money, but it always just boggles my mind when the Americans go to these other countries and they're going through and they're like, ew, gross. I mean, it is, it's on one hand, I get it, right? Because if you're used to a certain, I don't know, cleanliness or style or size or something, then when things aren't like that, it's inconvenient. And you're like, oh, I don't like this. And I would wish different for my daughter. Sure. But at what point are you like, but I'm in another country and the economy is different and customs are different here. And maybe there's another way to make this work, you know? Like the fact that the Americans just never take, sometimes they do, but often they don't. And there's just this ugly American scene where it's like, this is going to have to, this is unacceptable. This is disgusting. This is unacceptable. And it's like, did you know you're in another country? And just because you're not comfortable with it doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it might actually mean it's good. There might actually be other ways to raise a child or to live that might even be, dare I say, superior to American ways. Ooh.
The apartment
The
is
problem
safe
with
at
the
same
really
time.
nice apartments like that is that they're really expensive because of all these expats that live here and drive up the prices.
We really could help you if we knew what kind of money you're making. You know, Biniyam's working. We don't know how he gets paid, you know, whether every time.
Okay, so if the parents are like, look, we don't like where you're living and we're willing to pay for it, then okay. It's not just complaining, they're putting their money where their mouth is. And so if that's the case, then all right, complain away as long as you are providing the solution. Okay. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.